Hi, welcome to another episode of The Well. And today I want to talk with you about habits. Well, of course, the internet is full of ideas and tips and things and stories about habits. Well, so I just add my pinch of salt to it, habits, because I got plenty of them and I'm sure you do too. So, what are we talking about when we talk about habits? They are so important. They form such an important element through our days, through our weeks, our years, and basically decades, our whole life. And there's something about routine that is super comfortable, super nice. Habits are great as long as they serve you and they lead you to who you want to become or where you want to go. But there is this loop of habits that you actually need to become a little bit more conscious of, because there are habits that are, well, of course, there are habits that are pretty harmful, but there are habits that are worth actually unhabiting, so to speak. So what are we talking about? The habit loop is this. You have a cue, you have a routine, and then there's a reward. Why do people certain things? Actually, because they're driven by this reward. That gives you a feel-good vibe, or it's kind of like a neurotransmitter that you can also have when you do sports, for example. So like dopamine, I mean, this is a reward you get maybe from drinking coffee or from hitting a sales goal or from indeed doing sports. So the reward, that is what's actually a main driver behind most of the routines. So, but then what is a cue? If we talk about cue, routine, reward, I mean, it's repeating itself, right? So a cue is very often something on the inside, an internal emotion, or it is something that's because you're in a certain environment, causes you to want this particular thing, or it's a time of the day. For example, with coffee, I'm from the Netherlands, and at 10:30 or 10 o'clock, 10:30, a lot of people used to drink a lot of coffee, or it was coffee time, so to speak. Now this has moved up a little bit to earlier in the day, but anyway, there was a certain time of the day where people invite each other for a coffee. So cues, internal states, emotions, locations, all that kind of things. So then there in between, you have the routine. Well, what is a routine? Of course, you know this. Routine is something that you do through repetition. So something you do over and over again. And this is basically strengthening this neural pathway of doing this, or giving a response to this cue. Then you have the repetition, and then you have the reward. So if you understand that this is wired within you by repetition, then you also understand that there is a lot of resistance within to change this. That's why it's so hard to do diets or to achieve a 10K run, or to basically stick to what you said you would be doing or what you really want. And people with their New Year's resolutions, they know all about it. I mean, most of them drop off already before the end of January. So it's interesting and it's fun actually to uncover the psychological intricacies that you have within that make this habit building challenging. So what are those things that actually make that it's so challenging? Because this is, of course, something where you want to go if you really want to get rid of certain habits and want to build new ones. So it starts with a decision to deliberately want to change a certain habit. And the first thing to look at is actually what's the cue and what's the routine and what is the reward. So sit down with yourself and say like, hey, why am I doing this? Okay, let's stick to the coffee example. I know it's bad. I do grant myself some stuff that's not so healthy for me. So let's say I only want to drink 2 coffees a day, not 3. So the one that I take after lunch, little espresso, how can I make sure that I kind of keep that moment? Because I do like this moment. I do like this, this different taste after a lunch, but I don't want it to be an espresso or a double espresso. So with what can I replace it? Because if I don't have that moment at all anymore, like within this routine thing, this cue, the time of the day or the moment after lunch, if I put that overboard, and no longer have the coffee, then there are a lot of things basically that I'm not doing anymore. So that is, and there will be more things that are actually putting me, kind of triggering me back into the habit of doing it anyway, because I lose more things if I don't do it at all anymore. Of course, that's a way you can do it, but science also proves that then people, after a few days or a few weeks, do trigger back in what used to be. So can you replace it with something else that's also nice, so that you keep the moment? So that's something where you can think about. Also, it's of course very important to see, like, okay, what did you really automate? I mean, some people take always the same breakfast. And if that's not possible, then all alarm bells go off. Where is this? Where is this? So there's almost kind of a panic coming over it, because their routines are so automated that they're kind of thrown off if it's not there. So catch yourself in these habits to see, like, where is my life so predictable that I'm basically freaking out if I don't have that routine or that cue or that reward for what my expectation is for the day. So that's something to check on. And so to balance between the automaticity and the conscious control of doing it differently, that's the game of building new habits and unhabiting. So I don't want to make this whole series too long. It's just important that you understand that there is a whole process to it, but it's all about catching yourself in your habits. And of course, you for sure probably know already which one you'd better change for your longevity, for your fun factor, for just to have life being surprising, nice, and in full abundance, caring for you. Because there are a lot of bad habits that you can actually break and that you can replace with much nicer ones. So another thing that keeps you at your habits is this whole feeling, this thing of instant gratification, because your brains like this idea of short-term rewards versus long-term benefits. That's why your brain automatically will prioritize the short-term pleasure. And for sure, that must be familiar to you, that you think, it doesn't matter. It feels so much like eating this piece of chocolate. Let's do it now. And I'll do some sports again tomorrow, or I'll eat more fruits, whatever, in the afternoon. So there's this excuse coming up. So the short-term pleasure often takes over. And there are definitely strategies how to navigate this tendency and how to kind of not be caught by this short-term pleasure feeling. There's another thing that is very closely linked to habits and why most people or many people actually don't succeed. It all has to do with the all-in mentality. People make a decision, you make the decision, you say, okay, I want to go for a 10K run, and by summer, I'm making it happen. So you build a schedule, or you download a schedule from the internet, whatever, and then you say, I'm going for it. You have your outfit, and you, for 1-2 weeks, you're doing this every time, and you're on schedule, and you're doing a great job, and then suddenly you realize you're not watching this anymore, you have no time to read this, or to speak to that person, or anyway, there's something in your schedule that is changing. Yes, of course, because you've added this new thing. But if it's a too sudden change of too many things, again, like actually also what I said in the beginning, the chances are that you kind of trigger back into not doing 3 runs, but maybe 2 runs a week. So to allow yourself time to build up the habit and to do this in incremental little steps is a wise thing to do, because your enthusiasm may say, like, oh, okay, I go all in, but it doesn't mean that you have to do it all in, right? So you can make the decision to be all in on your decision or your choice to be able to run a 10K run in this coming summer. I should actually do that. I would like to do that. Maybe I'll tell you next week if I start. But so small steps, all in on the end result, yes, but you cannot go all in on all the new habits, because those are actually, then you're actually setting yourself up for failing at that. So incremental, lasting habits, that's the good way to go. And then, of course, tell people around you if you have certain habits, certain goals. There's also a lot of advice out there that actually says, don't tell anybody, just do it on your own, and whatever. But I think it's nice to share and to be open and transparent with people. Say like, oh, I really want to go for this 10K run. Yeah, I stick to this example because I'm actually empowering myself right now. So because your environment shapes your habits, right? The people you meet are shaping you. And so put yourself maybe in an environment that is a little bit more sporty. Go once a week to sport shop. You don't need to buy anything, but it does give you over the weekend. Let's say you do that on Saturday, and then you really think like, okay, I'm going for a run this afternoon, or tomorrow I go for a walk. So put yourself in the environments that actually nourish these new habits. Yeah, kind of automatically. I mean, you're inspired by it. You see other people doing this, because it can very well be that the habit you want to change, is not supported by the people you're living with, or you're working with. So search for places where the thing that you want to do, want to change, is actually also mirrored to you. That's just nice. So yeah, that's, and then last thing I had written down on my little papers, you see, I write it down. Be compassionate with yourself, because it's great. It's challenging. It's you need to cultivate some leadership around yourself to say like, oh, yeah, I'm going to do this and I want to stick to this. You know this for sure. You have been trying habits, but be self-compassionate, and calculate in advance also that there will be some setbacks, that you will not every time do what you set yourself to be doing. This is just how it goes most of the times. And being kind to yourself at that moment, so not beating yourself up for it, is actually the quickest way to to pick up on the habit. But think like in sports, right? Don't quit twice. You can forget once, or you can miss one of your trainings, or you eat anyhow a piece of chocolate. Let's stick to these examples, but don't do it twice in a row. Because then it'll very quickly slide off back into your former habits. So, and then I just quickly want to mention this whole thing of unhabiting, because yes, you can build new habits, but actually what's very foundational is to become conscious of the things that you want to unhabit. So what are the things that you really don't want to do anymore? Me personally, again, I go back to the coffee. I had 3 coffees, double espressos. So basically means 6 espressos before 12 o'clock. I just know that it's not good for me. So I'm now back to 2 double espressos, which is still 4 espressos, and 1 after lunch. So I'm still at 5. Yeah, it's a choice. It's really saying to yourself, okay, I don't want this for my health. So yeah, I don't know why I now repeat my own example of the coffees, but anyway, you know how it's going, because I'm already like, can I find the exception? No. I will comment back to you whether I got rid of this habit of drinking 3 double espressos before 12 o'clock. It is something that you have to become conscious of, wanting to change, go all in on the goal. That is what you want to achieve. Be gracious, give yourself grace, but don't make the habits okay twice in a row, because be serious, take yourself serious, don't fool yourself. So again, the habit loop, the cue, the routine, and the reward, become conscious of this, because then you can really start to change it. Catch yourself having this instant gratification thing, like the short-term pleasure over the long-term benefits. Also, the overall mentality, the overall mentality of going all in or not at all. It's like this all or nothing situation. Build a bridge. Allow yourself for incremental upgrades, incremental steps of changing this new habit so that it becomes truly a lasting habit. I mean, I think you really need to do something for almost 30 days for it to become kind of a regular, normal, more natural thing. Yeah, put yourself in the right environment, ask the people who you live with to support you, to not judge you, but to encourage you, and go find the people that are actually on the same path, wanting to kind of do this kind of things. And maybe you have a friend or somebody who actually wants to do the same thing as you do. So go for it, talk about it. It's nice. And then again, of course, be self-compassionate. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being kind to yourself, but it's important to don't slide off too quickly by allowing yourself 2 times in a row to yeah, be that kind with yourself, because you know that it's very easy to fool yourself. That's not what I wish upon you. But yes, some setbacks are okay. And then quickly get back to where you want to go, because you can do it. You can unlearn certain things. You can rewire these neural pathways. And it does take awareness. And if you want to know more about that, you can always contact me, email me. But that's not the reason for this post. I really want you to build new habits that truly bring you more joy. And I think you very well know which ones to start with. Enjoy your process, and enjoy the difficulty, because of course it's hard, but I think that you are stronger than you think. You can do this. Have a great week, and I see you next week. Bye.